My name is Daniel John Carter, and I'm Calyx Carter's father. I'm not here to talk to the demigods, I'll leave that to my daughter. Rather, I'm here to talk to the parents of them. Mortals like me who fell in love with a god or goddess and have little half-bloods of their own. I'm no expert, as I'm sure Cal will tell you, but I do know a few tips and tricks to help keep your child safe, for as long as you can. Of course, an unfortunate case is that may not be for very long. As half-bloods, our children will get special attention from monsters that want to kill them. Though you may try to protect them forever, or even send them to Camp Half-Blood to learn how to defend themselves, the chilling truth is that demigods don't normally live long and fulfilling lives. The most important thing you can do as the parent of one is accept that your child could die. It's not easy, believe me, but it's a truth we all have to face. Don't make my mistakes. There are many opportunities for a demigod to die. One of the most likely is on a quest. Demigods can't use mobile phones, but more often than not, Chiron calls the parents of the demigods who are participating in a quest and usually has them write a letter for you. This is so you're aware that your child is not in the safety of Camp Half-Blood, but instead facing the real world for what, depending on the quest, could last anywhere from 1 week to several months. The second phone call you receive from Chiron can make your heart leap up with joy, or break it in half. Of course, as I have mentioned, that doesn't mean you can't take certain precautions to help keep your half-blood safe while they're still a child. An important tool to use might be that of an emergency kit. A sack, pouch, box, or even pithos can work you and your child wonders. Keep one in your house and a smaller one in your car, and another smaller one in your purse or bag that you carry around often. This can be related to an emergency medical kit, though the difference is that it is in fact demigod provisions as opposed to mortal ones. In this sack, pouch, box or pithos, you should have all, if not a few of the following items. Nectar and ambrosia. Medicine to help your child should they be wounded. Warning, if a mortal consumes these godly foods, you will die immediately. And your demigod child eating too much might also lead to their death. Weapons. If you have one or several, keep them in handy places. Presents from godly parents, including but not limited to a charm or totem that might transform into a weapon. Drachmas, the currency of the mythological world. You never know if you or your child might have to call on 3 interesting taxi drivers and will need drachmas to pay. A totem of the godly parent, such as an olive branch, might give some extra protection, so keeping one in said emergency kits might be a wise idea. Get it? Wise. Olive branch, like symbol of Athena, goddess of wisdom. And anyway, packing things like granola and protein bars is also a good idea, because you never know if your child might be far away from anywhere to get a real meal. Plus, it keeps up energy, which your child would likely need upon running into a monster. Sunglasses, sun cream, and mortal money are all things to consider adding to your emergency kit. The better you know their godly parent, the more prepared you can be. Now, I know that my parents' corners have been getting quite short lately, but there's a reason for it, I promise. But our next topic of discussion is that of sacred oaths and godly promises. Some of you are aware that a sacred oath made to the River Styx is one that binds your very soul to the promise you've made. These aren't a joke and shouldn't be taken lightly. A promise can be broken, and often there will be consequences, but when a promise to the Styx is broken, you can expect a punishment, something that is worse than death. If possible, avoid swearing on the River Styx completely. I urge caution to both your child and you. It's not a risk worth taking, unless you're in a reasonably dire situation. That can be said for all sacred oaths, as not a single one I'm familiar with doesn't include a less than desirable consequence. Of course, in some cases, the promise you make isn't on the Styx, but to a god or goddess themselves. This doesn't happen often, and when it does, the deity usually makes such a promise to a demigod. But please be aware, every promise made to a god or goddess comes at its own reasoned price. I mentioned before that the most likely way a demigod might die is on a quest. Another is when they first find out they're a demigod. That amplifies their scent, and suddenly monsters lock onto their trail faster, easier, and they get there as soon as they can. I bring this up because, on some occasions, when your child finds out they're a half-blood, that their other parent is a Greek god, you might be with them, and you might have to witness your child's end. You need to prepare yourself for that, and in such a horrible circumstance, think clearly. Do not swear on the river Styx that you'll bring them back or kill every monster in existence, because you can't. Don't go making promises beforehand either, that you'll always keep your child safe, because you can't. And don't make a deal with a goddess. Not for any price, not for any reason. These things aren't to be taken lightly. Seeing as I have much more work to finish, I must end this here. I promise there will be more Parents' Corners to come, and I wonder if any parents listening to this might share their own experiences.